What is going on, everybody? We are back. The Residual Earners Podcast, episode 11. We're excited to be here today. We're going to have 10 rules for networking success. I'm Jordan.
I'm Presley.
And we're just couldn't be more thrilled to be here today.
It can't be 11. That's almost 3 months.
It's 11. We're knocking them down.
Jeez Louise. Time flies, brother.
Time flies. But I'm just, the coolest thing that's been going on with this podcast is the feedback we're getting. This week was our biggest week by far, with just the outreach, the support, the followers, subscribers, just hearing everybody's feedback on the podcast, how we're doing, what they'd like to hear. It's really cool, kind of how we have that interaction with a lot of the people that are following the podcast.
This last week has been a lot of fun because we've had lots of subscribers, lots of downloads, which we hadn't had a lot. And all of a sudden the downloads are starting to happen. And I'm getting texts from people saying they're driving, listening to our podcast and all that. Guys, we're here to add value to your life. That's the one and only reason we're sitting here. Now, obviously, I have fun working with Jordan, but our whole goal is to add some value to you.
100%. And, I think we can kind of start off by, the Coach and Cowboy call and how the Residual Earners kind of got interviewed, which was my first time being on the call. It was an awesome call. We had over 100 people on the call. Kind of dive into that a little bit.
Yeah. I'm obviously the coach since I coached for 16 years at Lakeview High School, and my buddy is a cowboy. And when I say he's a cowboy, he doesn't just fake it. He doesn't just have the hat. He's got the cattle too. And we do what's called the Coach and Cowboy on Sunday nights. And we do a Zoom. It started out 19 years ago, believe it or not, Jordo. 19 years ago as a call. It was a conference call because Zoom wasn't around 19 years ago. And we've kind of morphed into a Zoom meeting now. And we get anywhere from 100, 150 people that jump on there on Sunday nights. And we were just sitting there talking, Randy and I were, and we just said, hey, why don't we talk about the residual earners? Because it could be something people might want to learn from. Yeah. So we decided to get you on there, and had lots and lots of great comments about you're pretty much a stud.
I don't know about that, but I got on there. I had fun. It was cool, on a Zoom with that many people, seeing everybody's faces, seeing the comments come in. Obviously, Bears always does such a good job of putting it out there and making sure people go and check us out. But it was a lot of fun for me.
It was. And I'll say this, if you check out Randy Hedge on TikTok,
yep,
you will love his stuff. I mean, he has a unique delivery. He is a unique storyteller, and he's obviously very successful. So there's lots of good nuggets there. But Randy Hedge on TikTok.
Yeah. And everybody that's following us, obviously most have met Randy, but he'll be on the podcast soon.
Yes.
And just bring a completely different outlook. And,
he kind of ragged on us for not having him on already.
I know. Well, he's got to be in town to get him on, so we'll use that as the excuse for that. But
D Queen, Arkansas, folks. That's the southwest corner of Arkansas. That's where me and Jordan and Grayson go hunting each year up there by Randy.
Yeah.
And
it's a good time.
We have a blast. My gosh, we have a blast. Actually, Willow went this last year too.
My little girl went.
Little 4-year-old Willow was out there riding 4-wheelers and stuff.
That is not her cup of tea, but she didn't want to leave.
No, she loved it.
She loved it. All righty, guys. Today's topic are the 10 rules for networking success. Like we talked about earlier, we're loving the comments. We're loving the feedback. If you haven't already, go in the comments and leave us a comment on what you would like to hear, what topics you would like us to talk about. Because obviously, like Presley said, we're here to add value to your life. So give us something you'd like us to talk about, and we'd love to film a podcast, an episode on it, to really dive in and get you what you're wanting. So leave us a comment. If you haven't subscribed, all this stuff really, really helps the channel. It helps get us out there. And we can't thank you enough for the ones who have subscribed and the ones we've been talking to in the comment section.
Yeah, and understand, guys, we're not just giving you lip service. We really want to cover topics you want to hear about. So throw something down there. Whatever question you have about anything in business, network marketing, life, we'll do our best to do a podcast on it and hopefully answer your question.
Definitely.
Why don't you kick us off? What's number one in our 10 rules for networking success?
Number one is take action now. I kind of touched on that on the Coach and Cowboy call, kind of my final thoughts the other day. It's take action now. Step out of your comfort zone and get moving, because we can always sit there with excuses. And I know, people may be tired of us hearing about stop making excuses, but excuses, I think you say, are the number one dream killer. Everybody can make excuses. That's the easiest thing to do. Take action now, get out there, take that first step outside your comfort zone and start getting that snowball tumbling down the hill.
Yeah. And, I hear all the time, well, as soon as the kids get out of school, I'll start. As soon as the kids get back in school, I'll start. As soon as grandma goes back home, I'll start. You can even narrow it down to where people go, this afternoon, I'm going to start. Or it may be a Saturday and you go, well, Monday morning, I'm going to start. It's always some point in time in the future. I'm going to say this. Don't say I'm going to start this afternoon. Start now. Don't say I'm going to start Monday. Start now. Whatever you need to be doing, those phone calls, I'm guessing for most of us, it's those phone calls we keep putting off, but start now. The foundational key to success is action. It's just action. We can have the greatest dreams. We can have a bunch of goals. We can have all this stuff. But if we don't take action, if we don't get out there and start doing it, nothing's going to happen. And I think number one is the key here, and that is take action now.
Definitely. And there's no better time than now. Time's ticking. We have one chance at this life to make the most of it, and every second counts. And I think the older you get, the more you realize how every second does count and how you can't get any of those seconds and minutes from the past back.
I all heard it right here. He just said I'm old. I caught
I was
that.
more talking about myself.
Yeah, don't even go
aging.
there. Jordo, I was your age about 5 years ago, it seems like. So that's how fast time passes. It gets by there. But guys, there's no time like now. If you're really wanting to change your life, you're going to have to take action, and there's no better time to take that action than right now.
Exactly. Well, let's go into number two, set goals. It's something I'm very big on. Obviously, we're into March, almost April now, which is crazy. But at the first of the year, we're still Q1. Get those goals down for the year. And my biggest success tip on this is making that vision board, which we're both big on. I made a vision board. I sent it to whoever prints them out. Vista print, whatever it is. Yeah. I got it framed. It is now hanging in my bathroom when I get up every single morning, brush my teeth, get ready. I'm looking at that vision board. I see it. It stares me right in the face, and it's hard to stray away from it because it's right there every single day when I'm getting going.
I can't emphasize enough that you need your goals written down. I've got 14 goals for this year. I've got them on the memos on my phone, and I try to read them morning and night to keep them fresh on my mind. So you need those goals written down. And then, I'm a big believer in vision boards as well. I've been preaching that for 30 years now, that, get up and see what your dream is. And that's going to motivate you to be on top of it. That's going to motivate you to take some steps. And I'm going to say this, guys, with your dream board, there's no limit. Don't put a ceiling on what you're dreaming of, because if you put a limit on it, then it's not going to motivate you like it would if you're shooting for what you really want out of life. So I'm going to challenge everybody before you go to bed tonight to make you a dream board. And then I'm going to challenge everybody to write your goals down. And, you can do them like me and put them on the memos on your phone. That way I got them with me 24/7, basically. Or, you can do like Jordo did and hang his vision board in the bathroom, or put your goals on a piece of paper and stick them to the bathroom mirror.
Yep.
You just want it to be somewhere where you're seeing them all the time. I know what I'm trying to accomplish with my life. I think so many of us, we live life backwards. We just hope we're going to turn out all right in the end. Guys, hope is not a very good strategy. What we've got to do is we want our goals written down and then start meeting those goals, accomplishing those goals, marking those goals off. And then our success at the end is pretty much guaranteed if we do it that way. If you just kind of let the wind blow you around and you just hope it ends up all right, guys, I'm telling you, that's not very good. So for you networkers out there, what is your goal for money in a month? How much do you want to make in a month? What rank position do you want? When are you going to hit that next rank? How many people do you want on your team? How many presentations are you going to show each week? I mean, you need all this stuff down where if I'm going to try to show 10 presentations a week, then I know I'm shooting for 10. So if I've only got 3, I know I need 7 more. If I'm just kind of doing it as it comes, then I may just stop at 3 and that's it. But I tell people all the time, if you're not showing that plan 5 to 10 times a week, you're not really working this business if you're
Correct.
a networker. So it's key that we have those goals.
And definitely, and this is definitely focused towards network marketing, but looking through what we have down, it's business in general as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And what's the saying? Shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land in the clouds, or whatever it may be. And on my vision board, this may sound crazy to a lot of people, but I put a plane on there, and it's a $50 million plane. But you know what? If it ends up being $10 million plane, still pretty nice. The house I put on there, I mean, it's a massive, probably $15 million home. If it ends up being a $5 million home, we've still done well. So really shooting for, dreaming big and thinking what's best case scenario. If I could have anything, what is it I want? And now I'm working for that. And, I may not get to that, but I'm still going to be happy with where I end up in the long run.
Absolutely. Take just a second, you speaking of business, and talk a little bit about goal setting as far as the auto hauling business goes.
Definitely. It's, again, I won't give specifics because after I just said that, our goals are big, but they are definite. It is a certain number. And when we hit that number, that's we're going to get there maybe 5 years and maybe 10 years, but there's an exact number in mind that we want to hit and we will hit. And then it's, the thing is mapped out. And that's what I think we've talked a lot about of, if you're going somewhere, you have the map, how to get there. If you're driving, whatever it may be, do it with your life. And with that business of ours, we know exactly when we're buying trucks. We know how much revenue is coming in. We know how much expenses is going to be. All this is mapped out for 2 years. We know exactly the hires that are coming in on the big key positions. We know everything along the way, and it is step by step that gets us to that number at the end. And, your goals are up there, but you also have to have a map to get there. If you just have these goals and set them out there, but have no idea how to get there or never put any thought into how to actually make it happen, you're also not doing yourself any good. So it's really about have the goal. Now let's work backwards to figure out how exactly we're going to get there.
I like that. Explain that just a little more for people, how you figure out where you want to be, then you work backwards to make it happen. I think that was a key point.
So definitely. So, let's go back to my vision board. I have a plane on there. I think it'd be unbelievable to own your own plane one day. And I got a bunch of stuff, but there's family on there, the kids and their successes. It's not just, physical belongings, but, I got a plane and a house. Okay. So if I want to get those two things in life, what do I need to do to get there? What net worth do I need to make those happen? Okay. So now I can work back. Okay. I got a business. I need to get it to this point to make these things happen. Okay. So now I have a means of getting there. Okay. So I got what I want. I've got the car, let's say, to get us there. Now it's how do I, in this business, get to where this business needs to be for me to make these steps happen. So now I go back to the beginning and say, what do I need to start off with? How do I take, we're in the auto hauling and logistics business. How do I take these 4 trucks, turn them to 10 trucks by the end of the year? How do I take these 10 trucks, turn them to 20 trucks by the end of next year? Well, to do that, the logistics business has got to step up as well to fund the flow of these trucks and the cash flow to make it happen. So now I'm working the problem to the logistics side of the business and knowing exactly what I have to do there. Now I can take that and break it into a weekly or monthly snippet of exactly what I need to do and numbers I need to hit to make this long goal happen over the next 10 years. I feel like that was a lot. And I hope everybody's following me on that, because I think it's an unbelievable way to look at things. And actually, if you just look at something and say, I want these crazy things, it seems too far out there to actually achieve. But if you break it down the way I'm talking about, now there's actually a step-by-step map to get there. And it may take years, but I know what I'm doing to achieve those end goals.
Oh, I love that. And guys, it works the same way in networking. I know I've got to move up that leadership ladder if I want to make the big money. And to reach the goals that I wanted to reach, I had to make the big money. So it just made sense. I had to keep moving up that leadership ladder. I had to keep, showing the plan. I had to keep building the team. I had to keep gathering customers. I mean, you got to work backwards. So whether it's in business or whether it's in networking, figure out where you want to go and then work backwards for your goals. Here's what I need to accomplish to get to my dreams and goals. Definitely. Hey, real quick before we move on, tell people about your vibe board. I love that.
It may make a guest appearance on the channel. I got a smart board that we're trying to figure out how to implement into the podcast for those that watch on YouTube, because it really is cool. It's an interactive smart board, a whiteboard, let's say.
How big is it? Tell them how big it is.
75 inches. I mean, it's a big sucker on wheels. But you can, my vision board is on that. My, everything for this podcast, I keep tracked in there, and it's just an easy way for me to have stuff stare me in the face, my to-dos for the day, all these other things. And it creates more production for me. And that's where I find the value in it. But we're trying to figure out a way to implement it here, where we can have different stuff up on the vision board, slides, where we can go to the next one, and you can really see more stuff and give a little better experience to the whoever's listening to our channel, which is it'll be awesome. We just, we're one step at a time.
Yeah,
we've come a long way, and that's just another way we're gonna make the channel better. We've come a long way
from our first podcast of being green.
But we did make a commitment in episode number 2 that we are going to get better. We're going to continue to improve everything we do here and make a better end product.
If you haven't had a chance, go back and look at episode number 1.
We're green,
and we tried to get by with some cheap lights.
Yeah. This is a no judgment zone. For all of you out there, you can't judge us. We're telling you to go look at it. Learn from our mistakes. When you start your own podcast, get the right lights.
Yes.
Or don't be colorblind like me and make us green.
Yeah, it was funny. All right. Number 3, create a winning environment.
And I want to take this one because I like this one.
I love it.
I had an interview yesterday that we talked about for the logistics business, and one of the questions I was asked by the girl I was interviewing was kind of, what are your goals? How do you judge success? And I thought about it a second, and there's always, the P&L to judge success in any business, but more than that, it's a team culture that's built in winning environment. I'm so big on team culture. I'm so big on putting the right people in the right seats. But more than that is creating an environment that people want to be in. And as a team leader, as just a leader in general, it's creating a winning environment. It's you lead by action. You build up your team. You're there for your team on a personal level as well. But it's this big, all-encompassing, I don't even know what you would say, nucleus that you create that really dives deep into the organization, and then it takes off and flourishes from there once you've created this environment.
No, and it so much of it boils down to who you're with. You got to be slow to hire.
Yeah.
Slow to hire. And in network marketing, guys, you're looking for people that are motivated, positive, uplifting. They bring energy to the room. They don't suck energy out of the room. It is so key that we run with people that want to pull the rope the same way we want to pull it. And that's whether it's traditional business like the logistics business or whether it's network marketing. I have a theory on negative people, and that is if you're negative, my legs still work, I'm out of here.
Yep.
I'm not going to hang around negative people. So I think we've got to surround ourselves with positive people that are wanting to go somewhere, people that buy into the vision, and that that want to be with us. I don't want to be around anybody that doesn't want to be around us. I mean, if you don't want to be part of this, hey, still love you, but there's the door.
Yep.
The other thing that I think is so key, and we've tried to do this, is, my guys, have positive stuff up on your walls at your office, just stuff that motivates you when you see it. I just think that creating a winning environment is so key.
I'm surprised with Running with Winners episode from last week that you didn't use the negative people and my legs to work, so get out of here. You didn't use that one, and that's one of your key.
I know it. That's a go-to, but
that's a go-to.
I do try to use some new stuff not just go to the same old stuff.
Well, I'm happy it didn't get this episode got thrown in there, because I think that's very true.
All right, grow as a person, and we're not talking about getting fatter, by the way.
That's the easiest.
Yeah, that's easy to do, especially if you love to eat as much as I do. I did learn, though, this is just a side note, I won't charge you for this, that you can't outrun, outlift, or outwork a bad diet. I mean, you just can't do it. So that's just a little side note there. Grow as a person. Anybody that's been around me, or if you've watched probably half of our podcast, I say something about it on them. So the key, I think, to success is growing. I believe if you want more, you got to become more. I don't think you chase success. I think you attract success by the person you become. And I'm telling you, I have seen a huge transformation in you, in that how you're trying to learn, how you're trying to grow as a person, how you're reading books, how you're doing all that stuff. Kind of hit on that real quick.
Well, everything, in every business we've had has not always been, rainbows and butterflies. We've definitely learned through life experiences.
It hasn't?
So with that being said, I take a lot of experiences from the past and learn from them. And then learning from you, it's grow as a person is so big in your life. And it now has been, I was slow getting there, but it's been passed down to me now, and the importance of a morning routine and sticking with, hey, these basics to make the rest of my day work better. And growing as a person is one of those where, let me take 20, 30 minutes every morning and read a book, get my mind working in the direction I want it to work for success for the day. And it I'm not just saying this, it really is a life changer.
No, it is a life changer. Every morning I try. I mean, I miss one occasionally, just like anybody else, but I try every morning to get up, spend some time reading the Bible, which I think is so key, because, I love the Lord, and I think that's a key, but I also try to pray a little bit. I want to feel like I'm getting close to him, and then I try to get me a good book and read. The other thing I'll do is, especially if I'm feeling a little down one day, I'll get my computer and I'll listen to some Zig Ziglar, or Les Brown is one of my favorites. I love Les Brown. I actually got to speak at Eric Worre's event, and I followed Les Brown. And for you guys that have heard Les Brown, I mean, there's none better. He is a dynamo. And for the one time in my life, I was almost intimidated to have to go after somebody, because he is so good. But, thank the Lord, I did okay. I held my own, I think. But I love watching Les. I mean, if you'll get up and get into that morning routine of, reading the Bible, praying, watching a quick video to kind of pick your spirits up if you're having a down day, watch what happens to your day.
Definitely.
Your day just improves. Everything is so much better that day. On the days I jump up, I'm running behind, I don't do it all, it just seems like my day never quite falls into the groove I need it to. But
and you have to find what works for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Or, what we do in the mornings, ours are similar, but besides Presley doesn't want to get in the cold tub. He's scared of cold water. But you don't have to do what we do. This is just what works for us. You got to find your own, and maybe take, a couple things we do, add it to what you do. But really the morning routine is so big. It creates discipline, and discipline is huge for success.
We'll move on to the next one, but I'll say this. One of my weaknesses has been throughout my life is discipline. I have to really work on doing what I'm supposed to do, when I'm supposed to do it, whether I feel like it or not. I'm just telling you, that's something I have to work on. I've got better at it, but it doesn't come naturally with me. So I really have to focus on that one. But I'll end with this as far as growing as a person. If you've been around me anytime, you've heard this, but read a little bit. You don't have to read a lot, but how about 10 pages a day? And if you do that for a year, that's 10 times 365. That's 3,650 pages. You've read 12, 15 good books. You won't be the same. Number two, instead of watching so much TV, watch some personal growth giants. The people I've been talking about. Just 30 minutes before you go to bed. Watch some of that and watch what happens to your life. And then number three, run with people. Like I said earlier when we were talking about environment, it's just run with people that motivate you, that bring energy to your life. Run with winners, in other words. But grow as a person, guys. I'm telling you, that is one of the biggest keys to my success is growing as a person.
Definitely. We'll move to number 5, which I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on because I feel like I may have jumped ahead of myself earlier, but have a vivid picture in your mind, know exactly what you're wanting, have that vision board, have your goals written down, know where you're headed. Never have a day in your life where you don't know what you need to get accomplished for that day.
No. And have a vivid picture, guys. I mean, it is kind of crazy. I tell people all the time, Jordo, that my reality is better than my dreams used to be. I remember there would be some model homes in a pretty nice neighborhood, and I remember walking through those homes. And as a matter of fact, Randy and I did this one time over there in Firewheel. And I just remember, wow, if I could ever have a house like this, it would be amazing. I don't know if y'all have ever done that, but I mean, I'm just going, wow. Well, today, if you'd have told me that I would have lived in a 10,000 square foot house on 14 acres with a barn and a garage for cars and all that stuff, I'd have laughed at you. I mean, this is so much nicer than what my dreams was when I'd be walking through those model homes. I'm telling you right now, guys, the sky's the limit, but picture that. Picture what you want in your life. Do what Jordan said, have that dream board, but get a mental picture of what you're wanting and watch what happens. I think amazing things will happen. Our next one is don't wait for the wind to change. And here's what we meant by that. Wes Turley is a cousin of mine, and Tony Perry is one of my dearest friends, and they're both boat captains. And I've had the pleasure of being out with them. I've had the pleasure of spending lots of time talking to them. Boat captains. I'm talking about sailboats. Do you realize they can sail into the wind? The wind does not have to be at your back. Now, it's easier if it's at your back, but you'll watch, they'll traverse back and forth, and they can move forward even if they're going into a wind. Well, the reason I said is don't wait for the wind to change is it's not going to always be perfect.
Yeah.
It's not going to always things go the way you think they should go. You're going to have adversity. My whole point there is if you just pull over to the side and just sit there waiting for the wind to change, you're going to waste most of your life. We're going to have to go into the wind because there's 4 directions that wind can come from, and only one of them is behind us. So we have got to understand that we're going to have some adversity in our lives, but you just keep moving forward. And my gosh, in sports, after 3 elbow surgeries, you've had some adversity.
We've had some. But first off, I'm a boat captain as well, and I got no credit there.
Your boat has a 400 horsepower motor on the back, though. You can plow into the wind.
Well,
I'm talking about
still just want a little bit of credit for my captaining skills.
Okay,
I've only thrown Presley in the water once.
Only once. And here's the other deal too. I got to tell you, if you're going to go down that path, I told him. I wanted to get kind of like a 40-foot cabin cruiser, and I told him he could captain it, and he goes, "Oh no, I don't want to do that.
If it's over 21 foot, I'm out." That's the length of a bass boat. If it's over that, I'm done.
How did we get on that? But anyway,
you
do, Captain. Yeah, absolutely.
But I've definitely faced some adversity and gone into a headwind, and you just every day take a step forward and keep moving forward. That's the only way to get through it. It may not be as fast as you want to, just like a sailboat going into the wind, but you just got to keep moving.
And we'll end this point with this, but when God closes a door, he'll open a window. If Jordan was still playing Major League Baseball, I doubt, maybe, but I doubt he'd have got married.
I wouldn't have a family.
He would not have a family. And, if you ask him now, would he trade his family for a few years more in baseball? There is no freaking way.
Never.
But at that point in time, it seemed devastating. It seemed terrible. It seemed awful. But God has a plan for you guys. And if a door closes, just look around. There's a window going to be open that you can crawl through.
And this is a bit off topic, but I've learned it through business, and you've told me this a million times, but the highs are never as high and the lows are never as low. And if you live by that, and that is such a good little tidbit that if you take and actually use it, there have been so many times in business where, I'm just down and out and it's the worst ever. But, the next day it gets better. And then a week later, you're back to your baseline. It's like, well, I think I overreacted there a little bit. But really living by that, is huge.
Yeah, don't let the good times get you too high or the bad times get you too low. And a motto that, man, especially the last couple of years I've tried to live by is this too shall pass.
Exactly.
This too shall pass. All right. Know why. I got that in quotation marks, the why. Know why you do things. And, we could go a lot of different directions with it. When I wrote it down, it was more for network marketing. Know why you go to meetings. Know why you go to big events. Know why you get on Zooms. Know why you make a list. Know why. What we've got to understand is in networking that it is a pretty simple business. It's you got to plug in. It's that crazy. You got to plug in. You got to be involved if you want to be a success in networking. And I think it applies to business too.
100%.
You can't have some massive business and just never show up. And that's the way it is with network marketing, is that you got to get into it. And, I've heard people say that, well, I'll go to the meeting when I have a guest. Okay. Well, do you realize if everybody had that attitude, then you'd walk into meetings and they'd be a third full. If you have a guest, you want to walk in and that meeting be rocking. But when that other guy or gal has a guest, they want to walk in and the meeting be rocking too. So sometimes you need the meeting, sometimes the meeting needs you, but we got to understand why. We need to be there. We need to make us a list. We need to take everybody we've ever known in our entire life and write down on a piece of paper and start making contact with them and say, hey, I got something I want to run by you. We've got to, be our own best customer. If I'm going to be part of a company, I'm going to be my own best customer. And then, we've got to know why we show that plan. If you're not showing the plan, you're not going anywhere in network marketing. And, all that still applies to business too, a little bit different, but you've got to realize there's some things we just have to do to make the thing function. There's some things we have to do to be a success, and we've got to realize the why in it. And then we've got to do it each and every time again, whether you feel like it or not.
Definitely. And to network marketing, go to the meetings, if nothing else, to get motivation from you, from Randy, from Larry Raskin, whoever it is that's up there. Y'all are so incredible when you get up on stage, but go get the motivation. If you don't have a guest, I think it may be a good time to go get some motivation. Get your butt out there and bring somebody to the meetings.
And I'll end this point, and we've only got 3 more, but some people, they tell me, as soon as I get motivated, I have yet to be sitting on my couch and just a bucket of motivation just pour all over me.
The light bulb goes on.
Guys, you got to get out and do the deal. You got to get plugged in. You got to make some calls. You got to recruit somebody. That's what's going to motivate you. All of a sudden, I make myself talk to somebody and they end up getting in my business. Man, now I'm motivated.
Yeah.
But if I'm just sitting on the couch doing nothing, you're not going to be motivated, guys. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen. So understand, you got to get in the game to ever get motivated. All right, number 8, and I'm going to let you handle this one, Jordo, but I'm telling you, I put this one on here so I could talk to me. So I want you to talk to me on this one. I tend to do the, major on the minors. You got to major on the majors. So my number 8 is do important things first. In other words, prioritize.
We need to look at a little spelling here on important.
I taught math.
Important. But
I taught math. I mean, give me a break.
Something huge on this one is a book I've been reading, Buy Back Your Time, and I forget the author. I wish I had it with me. Actually, I'm going to look up Audible real quick. If you want to lead us with the first point while I get this little.
All right, I'll lead with the first point while Jordan's looking up his book. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is another good book that kind of helps you prioritize. But, I'm much better now, but I used to would start the day off just fiddling around, reading news clips, checking on sports scores, and I still do some of that during the day. I'll take me 5 minutes and do it, but I used to could turn it into 2 hours.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I'd look up and I'd kill 2 hours, and I had accomplished nothing other than know that the Mavericks beat Utah by 10 points or something. I mean, that was really all I knew. So I had to learn to start the day hitting the important things first and then working down. And then when I got all the important stuff done, now I can take a few minutes and do some of that minor stuff.
Definitely. And I'm happy I looked up the author of that because his name left me for a second. But it's Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, who I also love watching on YouTube. Great motivation. Just a great guy. But Buy Back Your Time, it's teaching you what your time is worth and where you need to focus your time, which is on the important things, obviously, but then how to delegate things that are lower down on the list. And it really gets your mind thinking correctly on what do I need to do first? What are the most important things I can be doing to create success for myself? It's a great book, great read.
Here's what I'll end this point with this. Before you go to bed tonight, make you a to-do list. But then I want you to prioritize that to-do list for tomorrow by what's most important for me to do. And then rewrite it with the most important thing at the top, the next most important thing, then the third most important thing, all the way down to this stuff down here at the bottom, whether it was, some of that stuff is, if I get it done, great. If I don't, it doesn't really affect much anyway.
Yeah.
But put your important things at the top. And when you get out of bed, it's going to be important to do that. I was trying to think, there's a saying that eat your dragons for or slay your dragons for breakfast and they won't eat your lunch or something like that. It was a pretty neat deal. I can't remember, kind of like you and your book or your author. But in other words, hit the stuff you don't want to do first.
Yeah.
Hit the tough stuff first. Get it behind you, and all of a sudden you're going to feel better. Because if I do a bunch of other little crap when I know I need to do this one, but I don't really want to do this one, that eats on me all day long.
Yeah.
But if I'll get up and I'll do it and get it behind me, then I feel better the whole day. But I'm telling you, make your to-do list tonight and then prioritize it, rewrite it with the most important thing first and then next and then next. Watch what you can accomplish. I'm telling you, it is a game changer.
Definitely. Well, let's move on to 9 since we are quickly, time is passing again. I always never feel like we have enough information.
Here's the funny thing, guys. The reason we're laughing, we'll always go, oh, I just don't know if that's going to be enough stuff. And then every time we end up having to rush through the last couple of points because it's a bunch of stuff, it seems like. But master your emotions. In other words, guys, people want to be around positive people. People want to be around motivated people. People do not want to be around negative, dull, disillusioned, frustrated crybabies. So what I'm really saying on this point is, smile, be joyful, have a positive attitude. I mean, all that stuff is so key, and it radiates. And what you'll find out, people like to be with people that are positive.
Definitely. And I think, it's a little deal, but just like, looking up at the teleprompter and knowing that, hey, smile. People are just, people are always, it's just a good lesson. People are always watching you. Smile. If you smile, people know you're happy, having a good time. Mastering the emotions is tough. As an athlete, I was a high emotions player, which I think helped me a lot of the time. But in the real world, people look at you kind of funny whenever you're high emotions on everything. So it's definitely something you have to work at. And it's not the easiest thing to master, but you got to put in the effort.
Yeah. And I want you to just try one thing. And that is, if you're walking in a restaurant or if you're walking on the sidewalk or wherever you are, just smile.
Yeah.
Just smile and nod and see what people do. It's pretty crazy that it's almost like their shield will come down.
Yeah. If
you just smile and give them a little nod or something, and it's crazy.
It's not the norm anymore.
No.
Which is sad.
No, it's not.
We've gotten away from just being kind to our neighbors and kind to everybody we meet. And the world would be a lot better place if we kind of got back to just smiling and talking to people.
We should do a podcast on that.
Just how to be kind. 10 steps to being a kind person.
Oh, hey,
I mean,
we may need to do that. I'm serious.
No, I'm with you. It's going on
because that is not the norm. Okay, guys, just be positive, smile, have a good attitude, be joyous. I'm telling you, and you say, well, that's just not me. Well, then act as if, because if you will start smiling, even if you don't feel like it, watch what happens to your attitude. I'm telling you, it is a game changer. All right, our last one, and it's one that I include on any list for success, and that is never quit.
Never quit. Like we've talked about in baseball, it was great for a long time. And then the wheels kind of fell off with injuries and you just can't quit. You got to keep getting out there in business. There's been so many good times. There's been low times and you just can't quit. And network marketing, I almost feel like it's easy to quit just due to when you first get going, you're going to get some no's. You're going to get some people that think you're crazy. And it's easy to just, throw it in and say, I'm done. But you got to keep going. You can't quit because anything in life worthwhile is going to take some hard work and you're going to want to quit. But you just have to keep moving, keep putting one foot in front of the other and moving forward.
In some ways, I love it that in network marketing, most companies you can join for just $200, $300, $400, $500. I mean, It's not a huge investment. But I also think that's a negative in that people don't have a lot of skin in the game, so it's easy to quit.
Definitely.
You and I have started 3 or 4 businesses now, and we've invested millions of dollars, and it's not easy to quit.
No, even when you should quit, it's not easy to quit.
It's not easy to quit when you got all that money involved. But let me say this, guys. Understand this. Jordan and I have been fortunate to start several businesses, and it costs lots of money. But I make more money with my networking business than I do all those combined. And it cost me, what, $300
initial investment.
My whole initial investment to get in my network marketing business was $300. And I think my overhead's $25 a month. And, my gosh, we can't even buy an office chair for $300.
The crazy thing is there's not another business out there that a startup cost is $300 and overhead's $25 a month. That's bizarre. And especially, the success you've created with it, it's, it doesn't even seem real.
No, I mean, think about it. List off some costs here, just ballpark. If you wanted to start a lawn mowing business,
you need $10,000 to $20,000 worth of equipment to start. Probably more than that because you need a truck and trailer.
You need truck, trailer. You need at least 2 mowers. You need edgers and blowers. And
we should ask Hunter, since Hunter started one of these like 6 months ago.
We got to get Hunter on this. We got to get it. Would that not be a trip having Hunter on here? We got to get Hedge on because Hedge is ragging on us last night about not getting him on. So
we got some good guests in the pipeline.
We do. Okay, I'm going to read these one more time, and then Jordan will give you a couple of closing thoughts, and then we're done. 10 rules for networking success. Take action now. Key. Set goals. My gosh, that's important. I guess I could say that on all these. Number 3, create a winning environment. Number 4, grow as a person. Number 5, have a vivid picture in your mind of what you want to accomplish, guys. Number 6, don't wait for the wind to change. You're going to have some headwinds sometimes. You just got to keep plowing forward. Know why you do things. Number 8, do important things first. In other words, prioritize. And I challenge you all to do a to-do list for in the morning and prioritize them. Number 9, master your emotions. And then number 10, I don't care how tough it gets, never quit.
Well, we're never going to quit on this podcast because it's too much fun and I'm enjoying the game. But, guys, we can't thank you enough for tuning in. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, go check us out also on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a follow. Like we've told you a bunch of times, right down in the comment section, there are a couple of subscribers that actually commented on my joke last time. That was a big one, and wished you happy birthday. So there are a few people that are listening to what we're saying there, but we love listening to the comments. We love reading them and hearing all the feedback from you guys. It's been fantastic, and we can't thank everyone enough for the support.
We love doing it, guys. And again, we just want to be here adding value to your life. Well, God bless you. We love you. Again, if you want us to cover some topic, put it in the comments, and we will do our best to get to it.
Awesome. We will see you all next Friday morning.
Goodbye.
Bye.